My dad and I have started a Youth to Gold challenge. A challenge that could take us 13 seasons to complete, where we are only allowed to sign teenagers and not allowed to use players 30 or above from the second season. But if one of us is to win the Champions League before the 13 seasons, it's an instant win. If not, it's down to whoever accumulates the most points from being more successful or selling players we have bought for huge profits. Basically, Youth to Gold is buying young talents and making money for your club. And on this journey, Dad and I have found ourselves in France at Nantes and Lorient. With the last 2 seasons, I have finished just above Dad in the league, but still unable to topple PSG. As well as us gaining 10 points from the selling of Diallo, Dad is still ahead thanks to his big Coupe de France win. And of course, gaining 5 more points thanks to the sale of Lujic making more appearances. And I am still trailing Dad 38 to 46. So once again, a step up is needed as we go into season number 10 of Youth to Gold. Knowing that my time was running out, I started to target players that would be first team ready from the off and found a fullback that can challenge both sides this season at Villarreal. It was just down to the price he was going to cost me. And eventually I settled for a deal worth £28 million. For Dad, he was accepting bids for Granada worth £45 million in hopes to cash in and replace him this season. Granada had other ideas though and rejected moves all summer before the season started. This prevented Dad from making too big of a signing thanks to his bank balance and was reduced to smaller deals. Bids were coming in for my strikers though, and I decided to try and negotiate the cost and try and gain 5 extra points, but it backfired and Liverpool withdrew their bid. Dad couldn't afford to make the same mistake with Hoyenhall in goal, who he got very early on for such a good price, and he just about negotiated enough for a bid to be accepted that gained in 5 points after he made more than £50 million profit on the Norwegian keeper. He had already signed a replacement last season, but this summer decided a new backup was needed as well. And the transfer kept coming in for him as he signed a centre-back and a really good winger from Vallecano who cost just over £11 million. This season I decided to give Krasniqi a chance in that centre attacking midfielder spot, and it worked really well as he hit the ground running, scoring 2 goals in the opening 2 league fixtures. We both, however, hit problems as we got to deadline day as I have power requesting a transfer away, while Dad is finally getting more bids for Granada from PSG with just 2 hours remaining, a bid that Dad eventually decided to reject. Well, I'm very shocked to see that Granada stays.
Yeah, I wanted to get rid of him all pre-season, and he wouldn't go. And he told me he wouldn't.
He rejected a few
he
deals.
He didn't want to go, did he? So, and then on the last day, up it pops. He wants to go. Sorry, son, you're not going now.
With 2 hours left, meaning you couldn't even really spend that money.
No point in me letting him go then. So, no, I'm going to take a chance, keep him for another season, and let him score a few more goals for me. Never know. I need the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, let's have a look then at the transfers that you did make, because there was a few that came in the door, of course. £6.25 million here for Carluccio.
Yeah, to strengthen up the midfield a little bit more.
Yeah, we got a striker coming in here.
I'm getting ready for when I lose my striker.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Obviously, we sold a few players that we can see. £60 million went out. Hoyenhall has left, of course. That was the big deal of the summer for you, gaining you another 5 points from that.
I mean, he was always going to go, wasn't it? And I didn't know whether to take a chance and let both of them go, the striker and the goalkeeper. But Barcelona came sniffing, so I had to let him go.
You brought in a replacement, a backup.
Yeah, but this is the backup. The other keeper is my main keeper. This is a backup keeper, really, so which I needed as well.
15 million, and then we got Legrand come in for £5 million, centre back again.
Just strengthened the squad now, really, more than anything.
He went into the second team. Then you got Miana from Vallecano, £11 million.
Yeah,
good left winger.
He is a good left winger, yeah. So, and he knows where the back of the net is, so never know.
Okay. Tactically, then you're going to a 4-2-2 from previous, because of course you were rocking something very similar to this. You've gone from this before as well, so now we're looking at.
I'm looking at
wingers.
Get the wingers in to supply the front two. I was looking to go another striker up front, and I didn't know whether to lock another guy in or let him play. But in the end, I decided to let him play. I felt, well, if he still scores me 20 goals, you never know what I get out of that. And it's at the end of the day, it's all about getting points.
We got Diallo up there, who came.
He's looking
he was
good.
on loan the last few years.
Yes.
He's picked up a bit of an injury recently. He's only out for the next month maximum, though.
But he's developed quite well.
He
hasn't
has developed quite well, and of
Yeah.
course he scored a few goals when he was out on loan at Nancy. Got 10 goals in the league for a very poor team, so he hasn't done too bad and scored 4 goals in 5 appearances so far at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does next to Gramada.
I mean, I look at it.
Obviously, how good Gramada does in what has to be his final year. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's 28.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I look at that team and I don't think it's a great team, but it's a good squad, and I think, well, we could do a bit of damage. So I'm sort of looking forward to it. I mean, they keep
Relying on Chris Brady.
This is the thing, is I've got a new goalkeeper in as well, and he isn't great. He's developed a little bit, but this is a big season for me, I feel, with him in goal.
Yeah, okay. What have I been up to then in this summer? A few bits of the money have been spent. I was kind of annoyed, really, because I had a chance to cash in on a couple of players and get big money.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And I tried to be greedy,
Yeah.
and it didn't pay off.
Well, and it was one of those things, isn't it? I mean, like I've just said about my team there, I don't think my team are a great team, and they're not building to be a great team. You've got some really, really good young players in your team who have developed really, really well. So you're building a really good team, and it's getting near that bit where it's how good do you get, or do you sell one or two of them?
Yeah, do I sell them now and get £50 million, because that's what I would have got, £50 million profit, which meant 5 points, or do I hold out and in a season's time they're worth over 100 million and get another 10 points, like I did with Diallo, because Diallo was in the same situation. I was rejecting bids for Diallo left, right and centre, and then one year he was just over £100 million, and it was just simple.
Yep.
Extra 10 points. But anyway, the players that I did bring in, I only brought in 2 in this summer, which not a lot at all, but I only spent £28 million or up to 30 on a fullback in Garmendia from Villarreal. Go straight into the first team because he plays naturally on the left but can also play on the right, so he gives me a good option. Very good physicals and mentals already to begin with for 18-year-old, 28. As you can see, he's played 2 appearances already, 1 start, 1 off the bench. And then we've got Mahmoud Salim from Zamalek. Now, they want to loan him back for another year because they're giving him first-team football. I was happy to do that. For £15 million, I think he's quite good. Could be good in the future. Only 18.
Yeah.
My scouts rated him quite highly as well. So I'm thinking because Lakatos was one of the offers that I was turning down, that I might have to look to sell him next year. Richard Lakatos, he's 26. Do I cash in on him? I rejected an offer which would have given me just about 50 million, but I went too big and he didn't go, which was 5 points kind of lost there. Maybe I should have just cashed in and got the 3, but we'll have to see. McGuinness, I'm locking in. Vial, I'm locking in as well. I haven't played him a lot of game time, but the big decision is Krasniqi. Now, last season, of course, Krasniqi I signed, but I put him in the second team. And he didn't play that many games. He played a lot for the under-19s, also played for the second team. Instead, of course, I played Yasin Urkel. But I actually think Krasniqi's better. As well as, obviously, the fact that Urkel actually got 12 assists last season, which isn't bad. I'm kind of trusting that Krasniqi will be better.
Yeah.
So I'm locking him in as well. So McGuinness, we knew he could be my number 1 goalkeeper this season. I haven't really had a solid number 1 for a number of years now. So Ryan McGuinness goes in now. I'm going to see what he's like. Let's have a look at the schedule so far. So I've lost 2 games already. PSG and Lyon, both away from home.
Not bad games, though.
Yeah, both away from home.
Good start. I think it's a good start.
Beat Dunkirk, Le Havre and Nancy. We've got Champions League fixtures. Let's see them. Let's see who we've got in the Champions League. Chelsea and Arsenal. So Diallo, we'll be playing against him. But I'm also playing against your dad in the Champions League base. So I can't get rid of you there. We're playing
and right
against
after
you
that,
again.
you've got to go to hell.
Yes. So that's going to be a tricky one.
So I'm going to give you a right hammer and then say, no, piss off the hell.
Well, we'll see. Let's see what you've been doing then in the schedule. You've had a great start, only dropped points against Rennes, but
I'm pleased with this
win
start.
Against Dunkirk, 4-0 against Lens.
A couple of clean sheets in there as well, so I'm pleased with that as well, considering a new goalkeeper. So, yeah.
Champions League, though. Juve, Real Madrid, Chelsea away. And you've got to play Galatasaray just at home.
Yeah, they can come to me.
Yeah. So,
I'm not
interesting.
I'd hope to go through.
Yeah.
There's a few games where I feel I could win there. So, yeah, I'd like to think I can go through on that. Then it's the luck of the draw. I mean, last year, was it Chelsea I got last year?
Yeah.
Not me out. Oh, I can't remember now.
No, I can't either.
No.
But we'll have to see how this one goes, because at the minute, points-wise, you're starting to pull away from me. I need to start pulling that back, really. So let's see what happens. Well, in October, I travelled to Dad's ground, and for the first time in a while, we were the much better side and pulled off a fantastic 2-0 win with both our young attacking midfielders scoring. But then, of course, we had to play each other in the Champions League too, and Granada scored the only goal of the game, securing Dad another win in the Champions League. It was, however, my only loss in the league phase, as I finished second and won some fantastic games like a 5-0 against Barcelona. Dad still had a strong league phase too, finishing in 7th, and he beat Real Madrid 4-0. In the French league, though, an unfamiliar sight, as Lorient is currently top of the league on goal difference, only ahead of Lille, and just a point in front of PSG, but 9 points ahead of Dad's Nantes team. Dad actually did fall in the Champions League to Chelsea this time round in the round of 16, which is where I progressed, beating Tottenham 3-1. But there is more games between us coming, as we've been drawn against each other in the Coupe de France semi-final, and yet again there's no sign of PSG. A loss to Dad in the league, though, came at the wrong time for me, as PSG have been on a crazy good run and pulled 4 points away from me now in the league. But the bad news kept coming for Lorient, as even though we defeated Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield, they still knocked us out the Champions League quarter-final. Maybe a win away to Nantes in the Coupe de France would be the lift we needed, though, as Krasniqi fired us in front. Second half, and it was a different story, as Dad's side pulled things back level before a corner taken by Granada was failed to be cleared, and the Romanian picked up the ball again and smashed in the winner. And to make it worse, that goal was scored in the 92nd minute. On cup final day then, Dad's Nantes side put the sword to Rennes, who never really threatened and fell 2-0, with Dad given yet another 5 points from that Coupe de France trophy. Well, another cup win, Dad, another 5 points.
Hey, I find it quite easy to beat Rennes.
Yeah, of course, along the way as well, knocking me out in the semi-final. I mean, how many years has it been since PSG even got to the final? It's been mental.
They don't like that cup final,
They really hate the Coupe de France, don't they?
We've been doing well in it, really.
Well, you have. You've won 3 in the last, 5 years. Yeah. But competitions, if we have a look, I did finish in second place. So, league-wise, I mean, I think I've got the closest. 4 points behind them.
Yes.
They are beatable.
Oh, 100%.
They've lost 3 times this season. I beat them 4-0 on the final game of the season. But we just need to be consistent. You beat me in one game. I beat you in the other. So we're sharing victories against each other. But yeah. Champions League-wise, Dad. Round of 16 by Chelsea again. So was that last year? I can't remember where. We did mention it, but I was Milan. I think you was in the knockout playoff round. And Juve who knocked you out. We did mention, we couldn't remember where it was.
Yeah.
But you actually had quite a good league.
Did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finishing in the top 8. We played against each other. You beat me. You did beat me. So it's an extra point that you get from that. But I actually finished higher than you. I finished in second.
Well
So it was
done.
the only loss I took, but I did draw against Leipzig and got 6 wins.
The good thing is we're starting to play well in Europe now.
Yeah, I mean, have a look at that. I battered Barcelona 5-0.
5-0.
I battered Arsenal 6-1. I went to hell and I won 5-1. So I'm scoring an insane
But
amount
you stayed
of
in the stadium
goals.
for about 2 hours afterwards, but letting the crowd go away.
Yeah. So, I mean, Liverpool and Man City are about to play in the final. But, all right, let's have a look at goals-wise. We'll have a look at your squad first. Granada in his final season was the top scorer.
Yeah, he banged in 21 for me, so...
Quite selfless. He also got 22 assists.
Yeah, so it was a good season.
But you have
I've
to get rid of him.
I've got to sell him now, yeah. So he's done me well. Thank you very much. I've got to get rid of you now. He's won a cup for me, so he's given me the points I wanted. So
yeah.
It was a gamble, and it paid off.
But a reminder, you get no points for Granada because he joined before you started as the manager.
Yeah, it's mainly just the money in it, but the money at 2 hours before transfer deadline is no good to me.
No, that's it. Yeah,
So,
it's the time that you get the money.
I'll sell him for a little bit less now and use the money then.
Yeah. Okay. So other players who are getting a little bit of development there. Alcorta seems to be coming into his own. Mario Marin, we seem to be looking at every
I thought
season.
he was a good signing when I bought him.
Well,
put him into that
you didn't
midfield.
use him for ages.
No, I didn't.
300k.
Yeah.
Barely played until this season
And then
here.
I started
but
playing him.
3 seasons ago. Roman Jean, of course, who was the Lujic replacement, 23 years of age now, starting to develop quite nicely. We're just missing those mental attributes, I think.
It is a little bit,
isn't
yeah.
it? But, I mean, that's his best season so far in terms of goals, and average rating as well has been quite high. Henry Diallo, his first season in the first team, 14 goals. Are you happy with that?
100%. Look at these again. He's so much better as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, progress of the last 12 months, there is some of it. There is some of it. Of course, all time we're going to see a huge amount since he joined.
If I don't buy another striker or a top striker, he's going to be my number 1 striker.
Yeah, he could be. You did get Winderkilled in. He obviously he's scored 14 goals, but you're trying to get rid of him at 25 now. So interesting summer that you've got ahead of Miana, who of course you just brought in, didn't play many games at all. Still a little bit of development, but didn't play any games, only 5 games. So maybe he needs some first team football if you're looking at developing him. There's players in his way, unfortunately. Transfer budget, you've got 3 million. Not a lot.
No.
Financially as well.
But then I know I'm going to sell my strikers, so
Yeah.
even if it's like 30 million.
Yeah. It adds to that because you have got 85% at the minute of transfer revenue.
I don't get no points from him, so I can afford to drop the value of him just to sort of make sure he does go because he didn't want to go at first, so I've got to make sure if someone wants him.
That's right.
So
Lorient, let's have a look at my team then. We got 27 goals from Capula, 27 from Jean Pereira. He is wanted by Arsenal and he's over £100 million valuation. If they come in for it, it's 10 points up for grabs because he cost me 3.5. So as long as it's over £103.5 million, I get a lot of money. Miguel Lopez is exactly the same situation. He's wanted by 2 clubs, over £100 million. If these bids actually come in and they stick to it, then yes, there will be cash-ins and I'll be getting some points for it. But it's whether they actually come in with the goods, isn't it?
right, yeah.
Krasnicki, we locked him in. It was worth it. It was worth it. The mental attributes, the physical attributes, there have been some progression within the last 12 months. You can see here, really good. I'm happy with that. Krasnicki is now a first team player and natural in that centre attacking midfield slot. So I'm happy. George Parra, injured at the end of the season there, but been good.
Oh, he looks good now, doesn't
He looks good as well. World class, apparently. 4 clubs looking around him. Over £100 million as well. What do I do? George Rodriguez didn't play as many games as what I hoped at centre-back, but the development is definitely there.
No one over 100 million.
Jose Lucas, though, 27 assists at right-back. He's over 100 million. How much did I sign him for? 12. So, yeah, I won't be accepting anything until they did that a little bit more, but, whoa, huge. And Vial, who I locked in, of course, had a good season in CDM. A little bit of progression there as well. Quite nice. Transfer budget for me, £18 million. Could be worse, and I don't mind it because, you know, I'll probably end up selling a player or two and having some transfer budget myself because I got 90% of that coming back. But yeah, let's look at the points. Season 10 points are Omega Luke with 3 and Omega Dad with 14. Meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 41 and Omega Dad with 60. So with Dad flying ahead, it's the perfect time to sell potentially his best ever player in Granada as he turns 30 this season and he negotiates with PSG. And for £32 million, he leaves Dad, but of course, no points because he was already at the club before Dad was appointed as the manager. I was getting some business done too, selling my Romanian centre-back to allow space in my team for youngsters to play instead. I did, however, reject a massive offer for George Parra from Chelsea, who I'd only let go if I was offered the over £100 million profit for him. Dad, on the other hand, is picking up another 3 points as he cashes in on Romain Jean for £60 million, which is over the £30 million profit for the French winger. And that's because it finally gives him enough money to go big on a striker we have both been eyeing up at Brighton, Daniel Williams. And the 6'5" English striker joins for over £70 million and becomes an instant star player for Dad. Meanwhile, I knew I had to start picking up points and therefore agreed to sell my South African midfielder, which gets me 3. And that's also the same points I get for selling Lakatos, my Hungarian centre-back, for £34 million. But the big question is, will Dad's signature signing pay off and make a big impact immediately? Look at you splashing cash.
Well, I lost a really good striker, and got to go out and buy and replace him. So I had the money to do it, so I did. I had to sell a couple of other players around him, but yeah, I raised the funds for it, jumped in and got him.
I think you went for the here and now, obviously, but you went for the best player under 20 in the world that we could afford and would want to come to one of our clubs.
It's not far off being the best one that we've found as well, really. Cause, to be ready straight away.
He was on my shortlist.
He was,
in case one of my players got picked up.
I was getting worried because it was a case of...
It was a race to get him, wasn't it?
You were waiting for offers, and I was just like trying to sell another player, trying another player, and I was building the funds up, and eventually I got to the 100 million and bang, got him.
Yeah. So I think the difference was, I mean, you ended up spending £71 million, £4.4 million Brighton bought him for.
That's the way Brighton do it, isn't it?
That is classic Brighton, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I remember like waiting for these deals to come in, thinking there's no point in me offering the players out because I'll get less of them. I need them to come to me.
Yeah.
Nobody came in. I can't believe it.
No, they didn't. I was getting worried. Last season, you were getting offer after offer, weren't you? This season, it went dry.
No offers for those strikers that I have. It's unbelievable. I mean, I did obviously gain 6 points because of the players that I did sell in this window. With Tazetsi, who left from South Africa. If you remember rightly, I picked him up for £1.2 million. So that was an extra 3 points after he went to Bournemouth. And then Lakatos, who I mentioned last season, had an offer that I rejected, which would have got me 5 points. I still got 3 points from it. Just £30.5 million profit. He went to Saudi Arabia. So I benefited with the 6 points from that, but I thought I'd have a lot more.
I did as well, yeah.
But there we go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's have a look at the players I did bring in. We've got Hatcham, who's been loaned straight back out. So a left back for the future, but he's only 17. Then we've got players coming in from Romania. Looks like a good CDM. Lanchas, who is going to be a good backup striker. I did lose Pedro Samos on a freebie. He just didn't want to re-sign anymore, so I needed to replace him. He has done that. Leo, who is going to be a 17-year-old in my Lorient second side. Christian Costa, very much the same in my second side. I haven't filled my second team for a while now. You kind of go through stages of doing so. So I had the money this time around. You can see I'm just bringing in players that are less than £20 million, hoping that by the time we get to that final season, which is only 3 seasons away, season number 13, that they are worth enough that if I can cash in, I will do so. Marchi van Sanetian there, £7 million was the final one. I'm going with the same tactic again. I don't know whether it'll be silly to do so. Obviously, I'll come second in the league, but in the cups, wasn't doing too well. But I'm also not locking anyone in this time. The players that I locked in last season has been working out. Like Krasnicki is in there as the first team. So's Vial. And Mahmoud Salim, after his season-long loan at Zamalek, is registered to play for us. He's looking quite good too.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So the Egyptian comes in at centre-back alongside Rodriguez. My 2 centre-backs are back to being good again. So I'm happy so
you've
far.
got a hell of a side there, especially your front 4 there. That's a hell of a team.
Yeah. Let's have a look at who you brought in then, Dad. Obviously, we know about Daniel Williams, but there was more. We've got I don't even know how to say his name, but this lad here, 17 years old. Again, we're just looking at options to fill those B teams up, or the second sides, really. Ivanovic, £8 million was a really good one to go and goal.
Oh,
on
100%.
that second side.
Yeah.
So, good signing. Chris Ryan's still going to be your number 1, but he's a good second backup keeper.
I had to sell a player there for 60 million to make up the funds to buy that striker as well.
Yeah, Roman Jean, of course, left.
That was the one I had to sell to sort of make up the funds.
Yeah. So, obviously, that gained you more points as well.
Yeah.
Because you got 3 points from that. £25 million, sold him for 60. Roman Jean has left. You had quite a lot of left midfielders, didn't you? So it was quite an easy one to do. And Labian, £18 million. Looks like a bit of a stretched face.
Does a bit, yeah.
Come on, look at the graphics. That awful, but still, good striker.
Well, he's another one that, like you just said, you might need him for the points when it comes to 3 seasons time.
Yeah,
he could be a good striker for me. 18
million, yeah. If you close to 50, then you're getting some free points there. Tactically, then you're sticking with the 4-2-2. It's altered slightly, I think, from last season, but as you can see from the best 11, Williams goes up front alongside Diallo. He's got 5 and 5 with 2 assists already. Diallo himself has been doing all right. 1 goal, 1 assist so far in 2. Yeah, so you're locking in Miana for the rest of the season.
Yep.
giving him game time.
He was the better one of the two. This was the reason why I sold the other guy to make up the funds, because I knew I had this guy in behind him.
Yeah.
And he's very good as well, so...
Absolutely. So you got two good left midfielders in there. Schedule-wise, at the start of the season there, you lost the first game to Marseille, as well as the Trophy de Champions to PSG.
Yep.
But you won the rest of them, and quite comfortably too, only conceding one goal against Nice there in an away fixture.
Scoring some goals as well, which I'm pleased about. So the front two are working well together already.
Champions League. Man City's in there, Arsenal's in there, and Real Madrid.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be very far on this one. I say that.
You qualify easy.
I should qualify. Looking at the other games, yeah, I should qualify. It's just it's two away games at the end. You prefer two home games, really, don't you? So I would like to think I can go through on that comfortably with the team that I've got now.
Okay, let's look at my schedule then. I haven't lost a game. I've drew 2 already in the league though. 1 to Montpellier, I think it's only just come back up. And Saint Etienne, 2-2 at the first game of the season. But I beat Lyon, who have been quite tricky for us already. And let's see my Champions League fixtures. They are starting off in a disgusting way of Napoli and then Milan and then Newcastle. So some difficult fixtures in there. Tottenham in the middle as well, ending with away fixtures against Benfica.
Yeah, you got 2 away fixtures as well, so...
I like to think I can still qualify though.
Yeah, you should do, yeah.
We'll see. Let's have a look then, because Dad, with 3 seasons remaining, has took a big step in points to the point where I've had to start selling players to gain those 6 back. So let's see how this season pans out. I have been really cautious in selling my players to make sure my performances don't drop after a couple of good league campaigns, and it certainly paid off when Dad and I met next, as I defeated him 2-0 in Nantes, thanks to 2 Krasniqi goals. I feel like this team is absolutely flying, and we were winning all 8 games in the league phase of the Champions League, including 11-0, while Dad is also still around the top 8 too. With the run my Lorient side has been going on as well, including battering PSG 3-0, it still isn't enough for top spot, and somehow Dad is doing even better in the league, and funny enough, he also holds a 3-0 win over PSG. Not to mention, Daniel Williams is the league's top scorer with 21 goals in just 17 league games so far. Dad's side was eventually stopped when they met Saint Etienne in the 11th round of the Coupe de France, and despite taking a 1-0 lead on penalties, they still lost 4-3. But with Dad still winning the race to the title by 3 points, our heads were also gazing at the Champions League, with us both still in the competition at the quarter-final stage. That was until Dad's side absolutely crumbled against Arsenal in what was his biggest defeat of the season in the first leg, 6-1, and there's no coming back from that. Meanwhile, I had quite the opposite happen, as I just knocked out Juventus 5-1 on aggregate. I also found myself in the Coupe de France final after beating Nancy 3-1 in the semis. Dad had one hand on the title already though, as he looked to extend his lead with just 3 games to go, including an away trip against me. But just to add salt in the wound, he lifted the title at my stadium with his 3-1 win, proving Nantes to be the deserved champions. Although my team might not be too bothered by Dad's win, because we went to the Emirates and came away with a 1-1 draw the game before. And with the second leg of the semi-final up after, we welcomed Arsenal to Lorient by scoring a fantastic first and an awesome penalty to put us into the Champions League final, where we would then have to face Real Madrid of all clubs in the final. But remember the Youth to Gold rules. If I do win the Champions League, I instantly win the Youth to Gold challenge. However, that league title means Dad has just won 10 points to extend his lead. So with just 2 seasons remaining, I need to make sure I win the Coupe de France in case I fail to win the Champions League. But Marseille score first and I'm panicking. Thankfully, a penalty evens the score before half-time, and then we set on our mission to secure the 5 points when Krasniqi scores our second. And within a minute, it was 3-1, and 5 minutes later, we had scored a 4th, and eventually securing 5 points with the Coupe de France win. But the question is, can I instantly win the challenge by lifting the Champions League trophy with Lorient? I mean,
wow.
I need it. Because you have seriously run away with the points. But what a time to get to a Champions League final. When in the league, you've just won it. The first one of us to win it.
Get in.
And gaining that 10 points, remember?
Yeah, I mean, you're dead and buried, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you were dead and buried with winning the league. But, whoa, you're in the final. I mean, my striker, mate. Look at my striker.
28 goals. in a league of his own as well. I mean, Chido Obi Martin was behind, 31 years of age at Lille. That's the reason why they've been doing so well.
Player of the match, so he's won
all the awards he could.
Yeah.
McGuinness for 20 clean sheets. That's been good. He's been
good.
solid.
Yeah.
We're going to need a clean sheet now, my friend, because it's a Champions League final. But I can't believe it. Points-wise, at 10 points, I was like, oh, no. That's because you are running away with it.
Oh, I was scoring goals for fun.
Running away with it. You
Yes.
were so far ahead. I think at this point here, you were like 7 points clear. It was a joke. And I wasn't even catching you. I mean, at one point I was second, but Leo overtook me again. However, did win the cup as well.
Yeah, you did.
So that's another few points
Well
in
done,
there, just in case I don't win the Champions League. Then I'm just slowly holding on. It's like, don't kill me off yet. I'm still here.
Go on to my results. There was a result I seen go through. I was interested to see how many goals my striker scored in it.
Well, it was the first round, one of the first rounds of the cup.
19, yeah.
19. He only got 2.
He only got 2.
Diallo got 6. So, and Alcorta got 5. Marin got 2. So, Viana got 2.
I was going to say they're the player sent off, but that was in the 82nd minute.
Yeah. I think I would have got myself sent off at that point. There was only 1 goal after that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is absolutely mental. 19-0. But, I mean, Arsenal knocked you out the Champions League in the quarterfinals. Then that was when I was knocking out Juventus, and I actually knocked out Arsenal. Get into we would have been in the semi-final. So I've now.
That's good then, because they can be an hammering, didn't they?
Yeah, I've now got to face Real Madrid, who Iraola's the manager. Funny enough, but their team is not full of chumps, which you didn't expect it to be. I mean, there's their striker. They got Diouf on the right there. He looks absolutely phenomenal.
200 odd million.
Dorta's their best player.
Another 300 million player.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. That's their front three. And look who it is at the back. Mionic.
Yes.
Former Lorient player.
Yeah.
Who are sold for 55 million and got those 5 points all the way back then.
And yet how quick did they go from value to 200? We never had a player that go like that.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, going back against an old friend, my first really good player, they got like Endrick on the bench. It's a joke. Jamal Musiala doesn't even get into this team at 36.
Look at the defence they got as well. Romero on one side, Dimonde the other side.
Yeah, it's a tricky fixture.
Ooh.
It's going to be really difficult. But let's see the points first, and then let's play this Champions League final. So season number 11, and Omega Luke scores 12 points in total, but Omega Dad scores 14, meaning the total points as it stands is Omega Luke with 53 and Omega Dad with 74. Well, my starting 11 is my starting 11,
yes.
But I've got 1 injury to my centre-back. That's the only problem, but I'm going to risk it. Going to play him.
It's worth a risk because he is your best player, really.
Yeah.
One of your best players. But I think your front 4, that's what you really need.
The danger men, yeah.
Yeah, and you've got your look. They're all fit.
All 4 of them have 20 plus goals. So that's exactly what I needed. And even on the bench, there's a couple of goals dotted around. So, I mean, but this Real Madrid side is absolutely phenomenal, as we've already seen.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a difficult game against them.
100%. You got to keep them busy. Your front line keeps them busy. You have a chance.
Mionic is on the pitch as well. How quiet can he keep these 3 strikers? All right, we're underway in the Champions League final. 15 minutes gone, and we have our first major highlight. And Real Madrid are being pressed right from the front. It's good to see, but you just know that's what I needed.
Yeah,
that's what I needed. Rodriguez, right, now calm it down. Calm it down, boys. There's a nice little opportunity there. There it is for the overlap. 4 players running around in the box.
You're keeping the ball well. You're knocking it around quite well, really.
Not taking too many risks.
No.
This is good. Pinning them in.
They're dropping.
Vial, Pereira might be off. It's a cracking finish. I think he is offside.
Do you reckon? I thought he went through the gap.
I think he's off.
Oh, they're looking at it,
I've got a feeling.
Yeah, they're looking at it.
Have a look at it.
They're dropping.
Go! Oh, I don't believe it.
I thought he went through the gap.
I thought he was miles off. Somebody kept him on side. Oh, it looks so tight. João Pereira, what a finish that is. Oh, my God. Right.
What a start that is.
Well, gotta be happy with that.
Oh, you've nicked the ball again.
VR with an unbelievable pass and the assist for the first one. Putting my trust in him last season really paid off.
Yeah.
Chris Nicky, who's been a danger man for me this season. Jose Lucas, the amount of assists he's got. Chris Nicky, back post. Capulos. It's 2! 2-0 against Real Madrid. I don't believe it.
How did he win that header?
He had 2 men on him. Chris Nicky popping it up at the back post with a wonderful cross. And there it is. Kapula with 2 men. Mionic. He's ducked.
Yeah.
He loves me. He's like, this one's for you, boss. What an header. And it's 2-0 in the Champions
2-0.
League final to Lorient. I can't throw away now, surely.
No, well, you do, Brent. You do.
Surely not.
You've done it before in the Champions League, haven't you?
I know. Champions League finals have not been my friend on this channel, but as we're approaching half-time, Real Madrid have yet to even have a highlight. And we go into the dressing room, 2 goals up. No changes needed from me right now. Let's just keep it doing as we are doing, boys. By the way, they've only had 1 shot.
You're playing very well. You're keeping hold of the
shot.
ball. They're dropping very deep, but you were keeping hold of the ball.
Corner. This
Oh,
is how
no.
they're going to win it. Headed away.
Get it away. Get it away.
Oh. Put my trust in McGuinness. He went like this
That was an open goal, wasn't it?
and just didn't even dive. Oh, my God. If that dropped into the net, I'd have been fuming.
Mate, this is going to be a hell of a result for you. Bad result for me.
I mean,
so
yeah.
far ahead, but
This automatically wins youth the gold after you've just won the league as well and put that stretch in front in terms of points. I haven't made any subs. Long throw from Jose Lucas. Why not? Rodriguez knocks it on.
Is it?
Left back.
dear,
What it could
dear.
have been 3 and that would have been game over. There's still a slight opportunity though. I've just got to start time wasting. Lower the tempo down. Start time wasting. Let's bring on a couple of subs as well. I don't want to change anything at the back. Vial, let's bring him off and put Wrecker on. He's had a good game, to be fair. And George Power. Let's bring on Miguel Lopez, the 4th striker that we've got, who has been good this season. Let's bring him on and see the game out. 4 minutes added on time in the Champions League final, but I don't think it's going to matter because Lorient are Champions League winners and Youth to Gold winners.
well done.
I mean, what a campaign that was for both of us.
When I won the league, I thought, wow, yeah, that's it. And then to see you get into the final of the Champions League, I couldn't believe that. What a brilliant season this season is for both of us, really.
Yeah. Youth to Gold, yet again, bringing up an unbelievable series.
Oh, 100%. I do believe that you've got a better team.
Yeah.
But I got a really good squad, and I deserve what I got. I've won cups, I've won league. You deserve what you got. You had the better team out of the 2 of us. Well done.
Absolutely. But what happens next? What are we going to do next against each other? I think I already know, but it'll be interesting to see what you think we'll be doing. But I really hope you have enjoyed the Youth to Gold series as much as we've enjoyed doing
Oh,
them.
it's brilliant.
And of course, if you want the save game file from this point, it will be on patreon.com/BigLukeGaming or on the YouTube channel membership page for you to have a look and have a gander. Thank you very much for watching. Why not check out this video on screen right now?